I'm your fire chief here in Grand Rapids. We kind of know how the story ends, but let me take you back to where it starts. I was 16 years old, mediocre in high school. Unlike the first speaker, I didn't really care about high school. I didn't like school. I swore once I got out I would never go back. I'm a doctor. So obviously I failed at that. I was searching for something bigger than myself. And when I was sitting in class, I got bored so easily. And I wanted to find something that gave my life meaning. And I was turned on to the fire service. My neighbor, I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina. I still have the accent. I've been here 20 years. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. My neighbor across the street was a volunteer firefighter out in a suburb. And I thought, man, that looks cool. So he talked to me one day when I was out mowing the yard and said, Brad, you should give this thing a try. Showed up and immediately fell in love with the fire service. And the one thing that you notice right away in the fire service is your reputation and credibility mean everything. Everything. Your brothers and sisters' lives are literally in your hands. If they don't trust you, you are not going to cut it in the fire service. That trust is everything. At the age of 19, I got hired by the Greensboro Fire Department. That was like hitting the lottery. So I was placed on a very busy company on the south side of Greensboro, fought a lot of fire. And I remember traveling to slower stations, and as a new kid in a town with 20 fire stations, you didn't know everyone. And they'd be like, where are you from? I'd say Station 4, and they'd go, oh, okay. Instant credibility if you worked at Station 4 in Greensboro. My wife graduated from Michigan State, go green, go white, yes. We met down in Greensboro, and she has a family farm south of here. And she wanted to come home, and I said, you know what? I'll move to Michigan, but I have to work for a big fire department. I get bored easily, I have to be busy, I have to be running calls, I have to be out in the community. Grand Rapids hired me. I got lucky. I hit the lottery twice. I entered Grand Rapids at the age of 23. Very quickly, I traveled around the city, and I was starting to get a decent reputation. That's what you want. You want to be that go-to guy or girl. You want to be relied upon. You want people to say, Brad, he's a good firefighter. At the end of your career, that's all you want. You want someone to step back and go, Brad, he was a good firefighter. That's all you want. I was decent. Around 2008, the city, like everywhere else, was going through a financial crisis. We were mandated to cut 10% personnel cost, 10% operating cost. The fire service is not, my budget right now is 90% personnel related. People are the ones that put out your fire. People are the ones that cut you out of a car. My people are the ones that will dive in the river and save you. It's all about people. We had a very difficult choice to make. Speaking about credibility, at the time, I had finished a couple degrees in the streets. We had a brand new chief coming in. She had to lay people off her first week in office. Her first week. It was tough. I raised my hand and said, you know what? I like solving problems. Obviously, I'm a warrior. I don't back down. I will run through this problem and solve it for you. So I raised my hand and said, I'll go to admin, the dreaded admin. You're no longer a real firefighter. You're pushing papers. So I went to admin and started crunching data, spreadsheets, and we had a lot to consider. It came down to this: shut down a fire station and leave 15,000 to 20,000 people without coverage at all, or put less people on a fire truck. That's not safe either. So me being the brainiac with a business degree, I said, well, I can figure this out. So I started doing research, crunched the numbers. I designed a smaller fire truck that was used out in other communities, out in the suburbs, out in wildland areas. Did I take feedback from the people doing the work in the streets? No, I didn't have time. I didn't have time for that. We were under the gun to cut our budget. So I designed these special rigs. So special, in fact, the people we hired to build the rigs and the chassis manufacturer, Dodge Ram, they said, we've never done this before. You would think that would be a light bulb for me to go, hey, dumbass, maybe you probably shouldn't try these two things. No, I'm a warrior. I'm going to go right through this problem, and we're going to figure this out, by God. So we went right through, we married this thing together, and it worked. It put out some car fires, it put out dumpster fires, it put out small emergencies. I was getting feedback from the crews. There was only 2 people on this little truck. Hey, we don't feel very safe. We don't have the officer watching us. We don't have an extra set of eyes. We don't have an extra set of hands. And we said, you know what? This is as good as we can do right now. So we started using these trucks. They got dispatched to a structure fire. They pulled up. The 2 people on the truck pulled off these specially designed hose from Europe, because why would I buy anything from America? Let me go overseas and find some really fancy fire hose that no one around here uses. They went into the fire. They were spraying compressed air foam everywhere. It was a very new technology for us at the time. And as they were about 30 feet into the house, the hose burned through. The hose was laying over a couch. The couch reignited, and my people had to bail out the window. They suffered burns. They suffered cuts. They suffered bruises. And I had zero credibility.